Recently I've been getting a lot of questions about what site I'm using to calculate IVs now. The answer is Pokéassistant, but a lot of you still have questions about how it works, so I'm going to start this video off by explaining it to you. As you probably know, sites like Pokéadvisor that give you exact IVs are being shut down by Niantic. There's still some working alternatives, but with the recent ban wave, I'm pretty cautious about using them. Niantic just released a statement saying that they're primarily going after hackers with the bans, but using these third-party sites that allow you to access the game's API still technically breach the terms of service, so that's why I'm not recommending using them right now. Unfortunately, without logging in with your Google or Pokemon Trainer Club account, it's impossible or very difficult to get exact IVs. Calculators like Pokéassistant or the Sylph Roads tool will give you a range of possible IVs, but there are some things you can do to narrow it down. To show you exactly how it works, I'm going to use my Ninetales as an example. So the first thing you do is choose the species of Pokemon you're looking at. Enter its CP, its HP, and the amount of Stardust required to power it up. This last field, Powered, you choose yes if you've already spent Stardust powering that Pokemon up, but if you've never powered it up before, if it just hatched from an egg or you just caught it, choose no. Hit calculate, and it's going to give you a range of possible IVs. A lot of people want to know which one you're supposed to look at when you're using this calculator, maximum, average, or minimum. And the truth is, it could be any of them. Because this doesn't give you exact IVs, it gives you a possible range. That means each of these possible IV combinations could lead to a Ninetales with 1218 CP. Now if you want to narrow down the range, what you can do is power up the Pokemon and hit refine, and it'll take into account the changes to the CP and narrow down the range of possible IVs. So I'm going to do that right now. So without refreshing the page, what you want to do is enter the new values. My Ninetales now has 1249 CP, 94 HP, still requires 2500 Stardust, and now has been powered up. So click Refine, and you'll see one of those values disappeared. So what happened is, with these new values, the calculator is able to rule out the middle option. So now I know it's either 80% or 84.4% perfect. You'll see that the level is now 20.5. The way that levels work in Pokemon Go is that each power-up is worth half a level. The reason the calculator asks whether or not you've powered up a Pokemon is because it allows it to narrow down the possible levels for that Pokemon. If you haven't powered it up, it's going to be an integer, a whole number, so level 20. If you have powered it up, the options are 20, 20.5, 21, or 21.5 for this Stardust cost. I'm going to power it up one more time and see if I can refine it even further. $1279, $95, $2,500, nope, $3,000 now. $3,000, yes. Refine. So there it is. I powered it up twice, and now I have the exact IVs of this Ninetales. 80% perfection. 15 attack, 11 defense, 10 stamina. So this is right on the edge of my cutoff. This was the best Vulpix that I'd hatched or caught out of all the Vulpixes once I had enough candies to evolve. It's right at the bottom of my cutoff, but I figured I'd make an exception, and I'm glad I did because it has a perfect moveset. It has the ideal moveset for Ninetales. Now let's look at a different Pokemon for another example. For this one, I'm going to choose the Clefable I caught during last night's full moon. 559 CP, 77 HP, 1000 Stardust to power up, and it has not been powered up. Calculate. So you'll see there's a lot more options for this one. My Ninetales only had 3 options. This Clefable has 24 possible combinations. The reason for that is the calculator gets more accurate as the Pokemon's level increases. So this Clefable, which only costs 1000 Stardust to power up, is currently only level 9. And you can see that the range here is somewhere between 31 and 49% perfect. If this is the case, I wouldn't spend any Stardust trying to refine it. I'm not going to spend Stardust refining a Pokemon's IVs unless the entire range is above 80%. So if the range is something like, let's say, 70% to 82%, chances are it's below 80%. It's more likely that it's going to be less than 80%. so I won't use the Stardust to power that up to refine it even further. You do have the option of using the Sylph Road's calculator in conjunction with Poké Assistant to try to refine your IV range even further. And this was suggested to me by a viewer named Omar, and I'll put his Twitter right here. So once you've looked up the Pokemon on Poké Assistant, it'll tell you what level that Pokemon is. And you can take that to the Sylph Road and use that to set the arc exactly. The reason I don't suggest starting with the Sylph Road is because the CP arc leaves room for error. If you don't position it properly, you're not going to get an accurate reading on your IVs. So let's look at my Clefable on this one. Set my trainer level, 23. I know from using Poké Assistant that this Clefable is level 9. Now I'll set its stats, 559 CP and 77 HP. Click Rate My Pokemon, and here's what it tells me. The combination of my Clefable's attack and defense IVs is 14, and its stamina is 5. You can take this and go back to Poké Assistant to rule out some of the options here. So knowing that my attack and defense total is 14 and my stamina is 5, I can immediately cross off all the options with 3 and 4 stamina, leaving these 4 options. Now if I do the math, 6 plus 8 is 14. That's the only combination that adds up to 14. So I know now this is most likely my Clefable's exact IVs. This doesn't work for every Pokemon. I've put some in where the possible ranges on the Sylph Road's calculator don't match up at all with Poké Assistant, but for the most part, you can get a better idea by using both of these calculators together. So that's it. That's how I'm checking IVs now. I hope I answered all the questions that you guys have been asking, but if there's something I missed, go ahead and leave it in the comments or ask on Twitter, and I'll try to reply as soon as I can. Now the rest of this episode is pretty vloggy. We went on a drive around the south side of the island, and it's really beautiful. It's Hawaiian rainforest the entire way, winding road along the coast. Really, really beautiful drive, but I didn't have phone service for most of the time, so there's not a whole lot of Pokemon Go gameplay. But if you're interested in seeing some beautiful scenery, go ahead and check it out. If you don't care, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Today we're driving around the south side of the island, which is like the one attraction that I haven't seen here in Maui. It's a long drive. It's like an 8 to 10 hour investment, and I've only slept 2 hours. So I'm definitely going to fall asleep in the car at some point. But it's supposed to be really beautiful. There's a lot of really nice places to stop on the way, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start here, where we are, up, and then all the way around. Turn around at Hana and drive back the same way. Wish me luck.
I was literally 5 quarters in. Yeah.
Quick stop to pick up some food for the road, because this is the last stop before Hana where you can actually buy food or gas. And now it's like a 50-mile drive, so might as well spend some Pokestops while I'm here. How terrible is that, right?
Yes, she.
Why you let me?
Planted here to provide an attractive and
This is the kind of terrain I imagined myself exploring when I started this channel. Of course, it doesn't work because I don't have phone service here, and I wonder if there would even be Pokemon spawns. But look at this. It really feels like I'm somewhere in the Pokemon world. played first generation Pokemon games, you're probably familiar with Rock Tunnel, and this feels exactly like a real life version of that. Rock Tunnel was a super dark cave where you had to use the HM flash to be able to see anything, and you would find Pokemon like Zubat, super common in every cave in Pokemon, Geodude, Onix, and I would expect to find those things here too if I had phone service. Still really cool. This is our turnaround point. Hana Bay, Hana Town, tiny town, crazy long road, windy road to get here. It feels like one of those small towns in a Pokemon game where there's like one house. It's tiny, but I love it because it's not commercialized like the rest of the island. It feels very natural. Still no cell service though, so. More looking at this. You're okay with that, right? Raining. This is probably really bad for the camera. We stopped back in Paia town where we got breakfast this morning, or lunch, where we picked up our lunch this morning because my sisters wanted to go buy bathing suits or something. What did they get?
Oh yeah, some kind of
bathing suits. I don't know. But me and Chance decided to just stay in the car because we're tired and we don't want to look at bathing suits. So I just opened the game and we've been sitting on 2 Pokestops this whole time. Can't believe I didn't check this sooner. Post office? Pokeballs. Oh, I can't reach that one though. Maybe if I stick my phone out the window. Nope. I guess I'm gonna have to get out of the van. Where are my sandals? Can I borrow yours? There we go. 3 balls. Sort of worth. I'm back at the condo now. I just finished recording the piece on IVs that you saw at the beginning of this video. And when I started, I noticed that there was a Lickitung on my nearby list. Lickitung is a Pokemon I haven't seen or encountered yet, so I was pretty excited about that. I almost got up to run after it, but the sun was setting, so I wanted to make sure I got that IV bit done before the sun went down. And now, unfortunately, the Lickitung is gone. It's okay though, I'll have another chance. I just really wanted to get that IV stuff done before I lost too much light. So, with that said, I think that's going to be the end of this episode. I'm about to head out to have dinner with the family. Enjoy the rest of my night. Thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow. There are two more things I want to say that came up after yesterday's video. One, about the turtle. A lot of you are asking why I didn't help it myself, and the answer is, I'm not trained to do that. I didn't have a knife on me. This turtle was wrapped up in a way that would have required me to cut the net to get it off of it, and I didn't want to do something that could stress the turtle out or cause it more harm, so it just wasn't something that I could do. There wasn't anything I could do to help it at the time. And two, a lot of you are really concerned that I was ignoring Pokemon like Vulpix or Voltorb. I caught them, guys, don't worry. I just don't show everything in the videos. I also caught 2 Hitmonchans and a Charmeleon that night, but left that out of the videos. So don't worry, I am catching these Pokemon. I just don't always show it to you. Also, thank you to, who was it that sent me that link? Thank you to Peasanter? I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it. But thank you for sending me that link to report the turtle in distress, and hopefully one of these groups out here can go out there and try to find it and help it out. So I really appreciate you sending over that link, and now this video's over. Tonight's a full moon, so I'm going to head out and see if I can find some Clefairies. If you've never watched the Pokemon TV show, or you're unfamiliar with Pokemon lore, Clefairy is a Pokemon that comes out to play more often during the full moon. I'm interested to see if Niantic took that into consideration when they were planning out Pokemon spawns. Right now at the condo, I'm not seeing any Clefairy on my nearby list, so I'm going to go check out an area where Pokemon spawn a lot more frequently, and it's actually somewhere that people have been recommending I check out since I got here.